This gonna be my 16th entry in the message to the black community, and I'm sure it's not gonna be my last. But this is a very, 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 very important one. Maybe the most important one that I've ever dropped yet. I need you to pull you up a chair. This ain't gonna be no 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know how long it's gonna be. But we about to bleed right now. We about to bleed. So I would tell you to go take your children, take your wife, if or your husband or whoever. And I think y'all all need to sit down and listen to this as a family. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is not to make you laugh. This not what this is. And if you new to this channel, if you've been on this channel, you know I don't release 20, 30 minute messages for the most part because I don't have time to play. This is not a game. If you over here and you listen to what I got going on, and you got a short attention span, listen to it in spurts, listen to it in pieces. But all that breaking it up to 3, 4 parts for views and all that, I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future. If I get somebody to help me with this, I'm not all that tech savvy. I'm doing what I need to do right now. I know how to do the basics, talk and upload. But that's not the point. The message that I'm about to deliver to you is probably the most important message to the black community up to this point. I got 16 volumes. This is volume 16. Um, we got as a black community a 25-year window until it's 2020 until it's 2050. And if we don't fix this issue, and I'm gonna speak about those issues. I speak about them all the time, and I'm about to go into them here. If we don't, we got a 20, and I'm giving grace. I'm speaking grace because we might not have that long. But I'm just gonna say I'm gonna go give us grace that by the year of 20, we got 25 years. Or really, it's 2023, so really it's 27. But I'm gonna go ahead and round it to 25 years until it's 2050 until we have to make a change or at least begin the process. We haven't even begun the process. A lot of these Negroes, it's not going to be a part of that. Moving forward, you're going to be reformed or you're going to be removed. You're going to remove yourself. This is not a joke anymore. It's not funny. And like I said, it starts with us. Nobody coming to save us. Nobody helping us. And I'm so tired. This is why I have such a. This is why I despise and have such deep repugnance against people like Barack Obama. These liberal black preachers. Not all, but most. Matter of fact, all of the liberal. If you're a black preacher and you liberal, you fall in the line of people I have repugnance against and I despise. These black and women, these black congressmen and women of the Democratic Party. Brain dead, pea brain athletes like LeBron James, Jamel Hill, Tiffany Cross, Joy Reid, Oprah, Tyler Perry. This is why I have such deep repugnance and I despise these people. It's plenty more people that I could name, but the reason why I'm not gonna name them is because they keep their mouth shut. They keep their mouth shut and they stay in their lane. But the people that I just named, the reason why I have such deep repugnance for them and I despise them so much because they constantly misleading people who trust them. This is why I tell black people you need to turn away from these leaders, turn away from these athletes, turn away from these rappers, turn away from most of these black preachers, turn away from the members of the Democratic Party, and turn to God. God will give you the answers. All you have to do is ask Him. All you have to do is ask Him for wisdom, and He will gladly give it to you to see through what's going on. In this time, wisdom And discernment is almost essential as food and water. You need to be praying for that because these people are playing y'all. These people are telling y'all that is a white man, is white supremacy, is police brutality, and it's all these things, and they keeping y'all angry. And as long as you angry, you cannot think straight to come up with a solution to fix your problem. This is not your issue. 67 years ago, yes, it might have was those people issue. And another thing, speaking of that, a lot of our elders, they gonna have to, I hate to say this and it sound harsh, but a lot of them gonna have to die off. They have nothing to teach the youth but the same BS that I just told you that all of these people that we supposedly supposed to look up to, that supposedly most of us worship, that's supposed to be telling us, listen, anytime you blaming somebody or anytime you gotta bring somebody else down and talk about somebody else to build yourself up and make yourself feel better, you a weak, sad, pathetic person. Anytime you gotta talk and beat down another race of people, blaming them for blaming them for holding you down, you a weak, sad, pathetic man or woman. These other races have nothing to do with the downfall, the issues that is plaguing our community. They have nothing to do with. Now, what I will say is, they cashing in on it. They is cashing in on it. They is cashing in on you stupid Negroes and y'all foolishness, but yet and the people who I named, the so-called pillars of our black community, they not telling you what you need to do. They blaming somebody else. And it's almost, listen, I know I thank God for the wisdom that he blessed me with, and I understand that it was him, it's nobody else but him that put me in a position to wake up and see things clearly. I understand that. And I'm not special. He'll do it for anybody. Right? But for people to keep telling you the same thing over and over for years, and you can clearly see that these people is not holding you back. Now I understand that this is what your pillars and the people you worship, because in the black community, let's be honest about it. Let us tell it we all Christian and we all love the Lord, but we don't follow his commandments. We don't follow his law, which is somehow some of these preachers telling people that, oh, when Jesus came, the law was abolished, which Jesus clearly speaks in Matthew 5:17-20 that is a lie. He clearly said that. In Revelation 15, it clearly says Jesus and Moses was on the same song. Right? But I'm not going to get too deep into that because I done released videos on that and go on my channel to him. This video is strictly for black people that need to listen, that's tired of blaming and understanding at this point in 2023 that what we have been doing is not working. This is why I've been telling. I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and he's white and Mexican. He got a podcast, and he invited me on a podcast, and he wanted to speak about some racial issues. He come up in the projects around black people, so although he is Mexican and white, he grew up around us, and he real caught up on bringing us together. And I'm all fine for whatever we got to do in this world. We got to coexist. We can't beat each other neck. But I'm saying right now, I'm saying right at this particular time, it's time for a reboot. It's time for black people to commit spiritual suicide and start over. And the first thing that they need to do once they commit that spiritual suicide and start over, as in a boxing match. If you watch boxing or you familiar with boxing, when the bell ring, each fighter go to their corner. Black people need to go to their corner. Black people need to go to their corner. And reason why I mentioned earlier about anytime you blaming somebody else and giving somebody else the power and telling them they the ones holding you back, you're a weak, pathetic person. It's time for black people to go to their corner. Forget all this equality stuff. Equality is not the wave. Rulership is. That's what's wrong with black people now. They so caught up in begging the white man for equality. This is why I always tell y'all the civil rights movement was a big mistake for black people. I understand that at that particular time something had to happen, but the way it happened was wrong. It's not about what happened, it was about the way they went about forcing themselves on white people. As time would have progressed, naturally people was gonna mix. It's just how the world was gonna work. Time passed, things evolution happened. There's no way they were gonna be able to keep the Jim Crow laws and all these laws in place. KKK, which is, by the way, is all founded by the Democratic Party, which black people somehow seem to love today. But we're not gonna go too deep off into that. But what I will speak on is this. It's time for black people to separate themselves from races, go back into their corner, and reboot. What do I mean by that? It's time for us to separate this, put all our protesting banners down, in the conversations about race, all just kill all that. Go into our corners, reboot, get together as a community. Forget everybody and everything else for right now. Get together. We have to come together as a community and focus on the man in the mirror. Listen, man, you can never fix. Listen, if you worried about everybody else's business, worried about how people treat you, listen, man, you cannot change people. Only thing that you can do is change yourself and make people respect you when you change yourself. When you change yourself from good to better, from better to best, when you fix yourself, fix the brokenness within yourself, i.e. our community, it's going to demand respect. If we would stop killing each other like we killing each other, these other races and the police officers would think twice about killing us. They know we don't value life. They know that. They know that death in the black community is almost worship. People don't love you till you're dead in the black community. They know that. They know that you niggas do not, they know that you Negroes do not care about each other's life. That's why they do what they do. And I'm not going against the police, because guess what? A lot of times, the police kill these Negroes because they force the police hands. Like it or love it, this is a pro-truth channel. I know most people not going to like that. Oh, well, maybe this is not the channel for you. We not over here lying. We not over here worrying about nobody's feelings. We over here trying to find solutions. We solution-based, solution-oriented. That's what we doing over here. And anytime you speak in truth and holding people accountable, it never tastes good. But the people who want solutions, the people who trying to find, the people who saying to themselves, what we have been doing is not working. You got all these people, some of these people, man, I just don't have no respect for them. Even you got the people who in the conscious community, they got, I'm not going to start saying their name, but even in the conscious community, all they know is white supremacy. And what kills me about a lot of them in the conscious community, they talk about the white man this, the white man that, but all of them put doctor in front of their name. They all go get all these degrees. They go to the white man's school, let them tell it, allegedly, and get all these degrees and put a doctor in front of their name and come on their high horse on social media talking about white supremacy. And they keep doing this. They keep doing this. And all people doing is cutting their television on, cutting their YouTube channel on, listening to what these people say. These people is pondering to them, and it feels good to their flesh, but yet nothing is changing. Nothing is changing within the community. Nothing is changing within their life. Because why is that? They done gave another person, whether it be the Jews, the white man, whoever the powers that be, they done gave him power over them by saying he is holding them back. So you know what? Let's forget the white man. Let's forget the white man because we know that this ain't a white man's world. We know that. People want to say that, but it's not. Black people got a the it has never been. I tell people in the 1970s the door got unlocked. In the 80s the door got cracked. In the 90s the door was open. And now the door for black people to take their crown and take their rulership position in America, the door is wide open with a light shining for us to just walk in. But we can't walk in. We can't focus and look forward and walk through the door because we looking at the side quest. We busy focus on the Jew. We busy focus on the white man. So this is why I say this is what we have to do. We have to reboot. We have to go in our corner. Let's get out of the racial fight, the equality fight, and all these. Let's go to our corners. Fix our cuts and wounds. What are those cuts and wounds? 70% of our children are born in fatherless homes. This is the number one problem in our community. Whether it be a boy or a little girl raised without their father causes major issues that causes all kind of other issues that are linked to all kind of other issues. This is why, once again, I always speak about this. I just made a video earlier about this. This is why our young boys are constantly getting killed in the street by other black men and by police because they didn't come up in the household with a father. They not used to a man giving them direct verbal orders, especially when he raising his voice. So when the officer does it, they get overly emotional, like they mama. The anger that the mother has because she dealing with these children by herself, because she don't have a man, because she got to work all these hours. All of that has been imposed on the child. So now when he have a run in with the police and the police get raising his voice and giving him direct verbal orders, it automatically puts him in an overly emotional anger state, which makes him act irrationally, which leads to him being hurt or killed. Mama tell him to do something 100 times before he do it, because the woman is not a disciplinarian, the man is. And because he was raised in a household with mama who tell him to do something 100 times and never discipline him until when she having a bad day, then she take all that out on him. He think the officer is gonna tell him 100 times. The officer is not gonna tell you 100 times. This is why black on black crime is at an all-time high. Once again, same reason. They being raised in these matriarchal households with these angry women, these overly emotional women, grandmas, and they imposing their will on the children. And they puts them in the same, and the government puts all of y'all in the same can, i.e. the hood, i.e. Section 8. And all y'all come together with all this overly emotion. All y'all come together with this anger that have been imposed on y'all through y'all mothers. Y'all clash and y'all kill each other. All this because the father is not in the home. I don't speak on the exception. I speak on the rule on this channel. I don't need nobody in the comment section talking about, well, I know somebody that come up with their daddy. Yes, it happens. But we speaking for the most part. You ask these dudes in prison. I've been to prison. Majority of these dudes came up without a father. Majority of these dudes you see getting killed by the police came up without a father. These things are not no coincidence. Right? We talk about abortion. Abortion, black women lead in abortion because they wasn't taught love. They wasn't taught to love themselves because they didn't have a father in the home who told them they was a princess every day, who told them how beautiful they was every day, who treated them like a princess without no intention. He didn't want to have sex with them. He did that because that was his daughter. He loved her. It was a pure love. And by him showing so much love and affection to his daughter, it made her love herself. A lot of these little girls ain't getting that, so they don't love themselves. So they go out there and they be whores, and they don't want to take responsibility to raise a child, so they get an abortion. In 2020, more women in New York, black women, got abortions in New York than babies was born. Black women lead in abortion. Hell, a whole generation have been killed in the womb. These people that I told you about earlier in this video, the so-called pillars of our community, the liberal black pastors, Barack Obama, Tyler Perry, Oprah, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, LeBron Big Mouth James, they not telling you these things. They quick to go run to social media and talk about something that they don't know nothing about, like politics or a situation where somebody gets shot by the police because they was resisting. But when the situation that I'm talking about, they got the voice. Why they not telling you that? They families together. They don't got no children out of wedlock. They not killing each other. They not aborting their baby. They go to the best schools. They children go to the best schools. They stay in the best neighborhoods. But they tell you that you can't because the white man, they tell you what's going to happen to you. You get pulled over, but it ain't happening to them. Because when they get pulled over, they know what to do. They know how to act and conduct themselves. And the stuff that I'm telling you right now on this channel, they supposed to be telling y'all because that's who black people, and that's who most black people in our community worship. 45 and under, they worship the rappers, they worship the athletes. 45 and older, they worship the members of the Democratic Party, the black leaders, and the liberal black pastors. That's who they worship. It's not that many people in the black community who actually worship God. They'll say they worship God, but they heart far from him, as the scriptures say. And so going back to what I'm saying, we have to reboot, get in our corner, fix our cuts and bruises, which is the thing that I just mentioned, black on black crime, abortion, complying to police, fatherless homes at the top of all of that, because the fatherless home is the tree that sprouts out all those branches of destruction in our community that I just mentioned. And once we go in our corner, instead of constantly going back in a fight all beat up and trying to fight somebody who has no damage. And what do I mean by they have no damage? These other races, they got their issues within their community, but the issues in their community is a minority. The success and the generational wealth building is the majority. And the majority of them is building their generational wealth off you, black man and black woman, off of your self-destruction. You got Negroes out here right now who got $200 million contracts in the NBA to bounce a basketball. You got niggas in the NFL $100 million contracts just to throw a football. And I'm not discrediting their respective sport because they work hard to get there. You got rappers got $60, $70 million. Wake up every morning to $250,000 in streaming money. We supposed to own America. According to the money that we spend, I'm talking about just black Americans. 46 million black Americans in the United States, and according to the way we spend money, we are the 8th richest nation in the world. We supposed to be owning and operating our own communities. All these money, all this stuff that I just told you these dudes got, they ain't got no apartment. I mean, I'm saying for the most part, they don't got no apartment business, no companies, because all they thinking about is themselves, and they thinking about their family. And that's okay. Self-preservation is the law of the land. But they thinking about their family and their children and the next generation, and 3 generations may do good, but what about that 4th generation that fumble the bag? See these other people, and I'm not one of those people to compare myself to compare our race to any other race, because that will put them as superior to us. Because you don't compare yourself to nothing but somebody that's superior. You don't compare yourself to something that's beneath you, right? But what I will do is take pointers from other people. If they doing it right and it's working for them, why not borrow it and make it better? We make everything better, right? That's right, don't we? So these are the people understand that the third generation may fumble the bag. So instead of worrying about their particular family generational wealth, they worry about the community. They worry about building community generational wealth. And of course, the F ups in their community, they dispose of them. And that's what we are going to have to start doing. We want to embrace the thug, the criminal, the drug dealer, the people who are destructive to our community and don't want to reform themselves. We must do just like everybody else do: expunge them, reform or be removed, remove them. But for the ones who doing the right thing, we have to create a community generational wealth, not just family generational wealth. Why is that? Because as I said earlier, the third generation might mess up the bag, but as the other races understand that, what my community, by me owning and operating every damn thing, even if my third generation mess up the bag, because because I didn't contributed to the generational wealth of my community, another family that look like me, they gonna have something to give him an opportunity to shake back. We don't got that. Yeah, they might have the Johnson family who got 3 generations of wealth, but what about that fourth generation that fumbled their bag? Now they gotta start all over again. Not those other communities. Because guess what? That third generation that may fumble the bag, all he gotta do is go in one of these companies, and the person who run that company look just like him, and they gonna reach out and give him a hand. We don't have that. And we don't have that at this particular point, not because the white man, not because the blue man, not because the green man, because we don't have the sense. We have the money, but we don't have the sense. No pun intended. And know why we don't? Because we too worried about the white man. We too worried about flexing, right? On our we too worried about flexing and trying to make ourselves look better than our brother and our sister. We not worrying about competing with no other races, and I don't support competing with nobody, because life is not a race. Life is a marathon. So I don't support competing with these other races. But what I will say is this here: we at the bottom of the economic pole, and it's levels to that. It's first, second, third place. We need to get to that top because we have the power, the influence to do it. At one particular time, we didn't. That door is open for us now. But we can't focus on that door because we worried about all these side quests. The white man, the Jewish man, thugging, being a thug, going. We wanna get some money and go buy 50 cars. We wanna get some money, go buy jewelry. We wanna get some money and go to these other countries and skin and grin on social media. We want to get some money and go get 40 degrees to work for one of them. And all we do with our money is spend it and give it right back to their communities. And I'm not mad at them for that. I'm not blaming them for that. That ain't got nothing to do. All they doing is being common sense capitalists of our downfall and our lack of knowledge. The scriptures say my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because our lack of knowledge and self-love, no matter how much money we get, somehow we give it right back. These athletes spend millions of dollars on jewelry, millions of dollars on designer clothes, these actors, these rappers. And even the one of us that's not famous that got a little money. That's all we want to go do. And Lord, why did they give black people a channel called social media? They gave black people their own channel called social media, where we go on social media showing the fruits of our labor to stunt and show off and say, I'm doing better than you, my fellow black man or my fellow black woman. You see these people on social media. Social media have got multiple of us. Social media is one of the. I gotta add that in to another thing that's a self destruction mechanism to the black community. People have been killed. People getting going to jail every day. People homes have been broken up. All kind of stuff have happened from social media because niggas want to go on there and flex. Females want to go on there and flex. All these fights you see at the club, for the most part, that's from some social media beef. Half of these Negroes that's getting locked up for selling poison in their own community, which I don't feel sorry for them, that's from social media flexing to show the other drug dealer and the other niggas, not the white man, not the Jew, not nobody else. They want to flex on their own. When you see these females, because it's really the females do it, but some of the dudes do it too. They go on their social media and they got all the places that they've been across in the world. And then they'll tell somebody that ain't for everybody else. That's for me. If it was for you, you'll keep it in your Google photos and back it up. That's not for you. That's for the everybody else in the world. Well, not everybody else. That's for you to show your other black people. Yeah, I've been more places than you. I did. I was, and all you doing is going to these other people cultures, spending money with them. But you blaming the white man. You saying the white man holding you back. And this is why I say we have to go in our corner, turn our heads to everybody, look straight forward at the mirror, and fix our problem. We cannot focus in, zoom in on our problem and fix them when we constantly worry about other stuff. The white man showing off on social media. And it ain't nobody's fault. Ain't nobody do it ain't now guess what? Like I said, and I always say this, why not? They capitalizing off all that. Why not? You niggas love that jury. We gonna move to your country, them Arab, the Middle Eastern, because that's who's selling all the jury. And Johnny the Chinaman, they make more money off black men. And I mean, like I said, you want to buy a jury and chain, you fruits of your labor, do your thing. But you should be focused, because either way it go, you can still do that. If you got companies and corporations that's black owned and operated, not only will you be empowering your people, your bloodline, you could still get revenue from that and buy those things. But you could create your own. They got black jewelers. They got black people that's in the jury. You could invest in a black jeweler. So that way the money can go back to a black person and continue to rotate and circulate in the black community. You could invest these dudes. I'm telling you, they giving these dudes money like it ain't nothing. $200 million basketball contract, $100 million shoe deal, lifetime deal. Invest in you a couple black men in some dealerships so you can buy your car from them. Get you some black geniuses, and I'm gonna take it a step further because that's how much money that we have. Get you some black guys to send them to be engineers and let them build a car. Get you some black men who off into fashion, which they got some that's doing their thing. But I'm saying, get you some black men that's off into fashion and let them come out with their own designer brand. And we could be putting all this money that the person that's so-called pressing us or the other people or whoever, the money that we giving them, we could be giving our own people and letting the money circulate in our community, building generational wealth as a community, not as a one family, but as a community. So 3-4 years down the line, if you a Ja Morant, your third generation Morants is some screw ups and they swindle all the money, they'll have somebody that own a corporation from which you contributed to that community 3-4 generations back, and they'll have their own corporate. They'll have a corporation of some other black people who will be willing to understand his plight and give him another shot to start all over. Instead of every generation, we got to start all over. My children got to start all over because I couldn't leave them nothing. They got to start all over. Like I said, one particular time as a black community, we had to do what we had to do. But at this particular time, the ball is in our court but we cannot shoot the ball in the hoop correctly because we too worried about dribbling all damn time, looking at everybody else. We just want to dribble. And what I mean by that, argue. We just want to argue with white people. That's all we want. We want to argue with white people. Man, stop focusing on them. And I'm about to end this message with this. In conclusion, black people, you need to go to your corner and get your bruises, your swollen lip, your cuts nurtured. What are those swole lips? Number one, we got to make black love great again. We got to bring back together of the family. We got to bring back the nuclear family in the community. 70% of children being raised without a father, that is asinine. That is, listen, that number is I can't even believe it. If it was 50%, that would, if half of black families was coming up without a father, that would be horrible. That would be horrific, devastating. But 70%? And we actually think we gonna make it? We not. It's not gonna happen. Nothing is gonna happen until we bring back the nuclear family. Black men, listen. Y'all like to call yourself king. Kings don't just spread his semen everywhere, bruh. Where he know he not gonna be there to raise his prince or his princess. And women, y'all like to call yourself black queen. Y'all don't let no anybody inseminate you. If you a queen, only a king is fit to inseminate you. These dudes out here selling poison to their own people, committing crime, and doing all this type of stuff. These dudes ain't no kings. I don't care what kind of possessions they have. They not no kings. They going against the grain. They helping destroy the black community for material gain. And so that's what we have to do, man. That's one of the things that we have to do, and we have to do it now. We don't have time. We got a 25-year window, and like I say, that's grace I'm giving. Not God. I don't know if God gonna get that grace. I don't know who gonna get. I'm saying within 25 years, before 2050, we have to come together, reboot, come together as a community. The ones who not gonna get on board, the ones who want to be thoughts, the ones who want to be drugged, the ones who want to be degenerate, they gonna be expunged like these other communities do. They don't got everybody in the foolishness. The minority of the ones who screw ups, they expunge them. They cut them off and let them exterminate themselves, whether it be in the prison system or off of this earth and back into the spiritual realm and not heaven. Right? So we have to do that. We have to stop embracing the thug archetype, the degenerate archetype, whether it be a man or woman. And we got to come together, stop worrying about everybody. Let's just forget about the white man. Let's pretend that we exist in this world of ourselves. Well, what you mean? I got to do this. I got to do what you got to do. You got to do whatever you got to do. But whenever it comes to these type of conversations, these stupid circular conversations about white supremacy, systematic racism, police brutality, and all that, ask yourself one question in your life, and as a black man or woman, ask yourself, what's the real issue with what's really holding you back individually? Then say what's really holding my race back. Is white people really holding us back, or is we holding ourselves back with the things I aforementioned by the mistakes that we making? And all the white man, the Jews, and the blue and the green man doing is capitalizing and cashing in on our foolishness, our self-destruction, and building generational wealth for not only his initial family, not only his individual family, but for his community. And so I want to thank y'all for listening to me. Like, comment, and subscribe. I got more videos coming, man. This is a solutions-based, solutions-oriented, pro-truth channel. If you're not trying to change, if you want to keep blaming the white man, you want to keep being a victim and not look at yourself as king, you can't be a king or a queen and blaming somebody else. A king and a queen have a rulership mindset, ruling class mindset. So stop hollering about Wakanda, Black Queen Blue, but you talking about the white man and what he doing. He ain't doing nothing but what anybody's. He ain't doing nothing but what he's supposed to be doing. Because that's what these black people that I told you, that's what they doing. The Barack Obama, the LeBrons, the Jesse Jackson, the Al Sharptons, these black, most of them, these liberal Democratic congressmen and women, these members of the Democratic Party. That's what they doing. They capitalizing off you stupid fools because they telling y'all who the white man holding y'all back, and because y'all so stupid for the most part, I'm taking the gloves off. I'm not gonna say y'all stupid. I'm gonna say because y'all so ignorant, meaning misinformed. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Y'all listen to these people. And because they pondering to y'all, it makes y'all feel like, man, these people care about me. So by you thinking that they care about you, you continuously vote them in office and increase their power and wealth. But you gotta ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question, and this gonna be the equivalent if they care about you. If you have children, or if you have somebody in your family that's a loved one, do you care about them if you see that they messing up and you tell them, hey, it's not your fault, it's somebody else's fault? When you clearly see that they the one messing up their own life, messing up their own education, messing up their own career, they messing up. You can clearly see that they messing. You can clearly see that they messing up, but you tell them, man, it's somebody else's fault. It's your classmate's fault. It's the teacher's fault. It's the principal's fault. It's the boss' fault. It's that person's fault. That would be the equivalent to. And if you do that to your child or to your friend, you don't love them. You don't love them if you don't hold them accountable. And none of these people love you. And you constantly voting them in, increasing their power and wealth when they not holding you accountable to fix you. Forget the white man. Forget the Jew. This ain't the white man's world no more. This is anybody's world who put their best foot forward. And black people got the talent and the influence right now. And they getting paid handsomely for it. Even the people that's not celebrity, they got people they got entrepreneurs. The door is open, man. The door is open. But a lot of us, all we want to do is go get 100 degrees and work for somebody. And I'm understanding that I understand everybody not trailblazing, and you got to do what you got to do. But my thing is this. If you're going to do what you got to do what you got to do and put yourself into an advantageous position and try to empower yourself. It's something out there, whether you're a trailblazer or not. It's something out there if it's just investing in the right stock, getting the right financial advice and investing in the right stock. Try to put yourself in a rulership mindset the way you don't have to work forever, and not to mention you got to work forever. You can't pass no pension down, no 401k to your children. Work for the company for 50 years, retire and get a pension, and 401k. You can't leave that to your children. You might be able to leave the 401k to your children, but by the time if you live a long life, you ain't gonna have nothing to leave them. You want to leave your children stock. You want to leave your children bonds. You want to leave your children in a position the way they don't got to start from scratch. You want to leave your children in a position where they don't even have to never work for somebody. It's good to get you a trade. Trades is great because you can always have work. You can start your own business. So I do recommend that everybody, especially young men, go get you a trade so you can always know how to do something with your hand. Men always supposed to know how to do something with your hands. But for the most part, you need to be putting yourself, black people need to get rid of this socialist, communist, employee mindset and pick up the ruling class mindset like everybody else. These people come over here from foreign countries, third world countries. They don't come here with no handout, asking for no handout. They come here and be common sense capitalists. And a lot of time, black men, you the ones who they capitalize off. They move in your hood, say you that greasy food, say you they do your fingernails, say you that fake hair. Majority of the time, you are the victim. You are the target. Because they know you love to look good. They know you love to stunt on your own people. They know that. So they capitalize off it. And like I say, I'm not mad at them for that. If anything, we need to take that pointer from them moving forward and see how we can capitalize off other races. Because nothing wrong with that if you're doing it legit. Find out what they like and sell it to them. Legal And I'm not talking about nothing else because I don't support selling chemicals to nobody. I don't support selling poison to nobody. Right? And so, that's all I'm going to say on that, man. Um, and like I said, this is volume 16 of the Message to the Black Community. I'm sure this is a series that's gonna last for forever. Cause until we get together, I'm gonna keep talking this. And I know my channel's small right now, but it's gonna be big. And my aim is to get that one. I want to get the masses, but I understand that the masses just ain't gonna adapt. They gonna die victims. But if I can get that one instead of if I can use me and light one candle and that candle melt on a whole bunch of other people, if I can sow my seed in soil ground the way on fertile ground the way it produced 30, 60, even 100 times fold, I'm good with that. So once again, in conclusion, I just want to thank y'all for taking y'all time out to listen to me, and I'ma holler like, sub, and subscribe.